I want to quickly go over all the resurrection accounts so that we see the common threads of attachment to prophets and apostles. You'll see how quick I go through them. As well as the overall lack of biblical focus on these resurrections. You'll notice when you read these, the Lord just moves right on. It's just not that big of a deal as far as the focus of God in his word. Because all the resurrection stories besides Jesus' concluded in physical death once again. In the New Testament, Jesus is recorded to have raised 3 people from the dead during his ministry. First, the son of Nain. Second, Jairus' daughter. Lastly, Lazarus, as I already went over. Outside of the massive resurrection done by no particular person upon Jesus dying in Matthew 27, which is quite unique and still fairly mysterious as to what actually happened, there are 3 more resurrections in the New Testament. Tabitha, also known as Dorcas, was raised by the apostle Peter, and Eutychus was the man who fell asleep while Paul was preaching until midnight. He fell out of a window and he died. As a side note, I think it's very important to draw attention to the length of Paul's sermon. He started at dinner, he went till midnight. At midnight, the guy falls asleep, falls out the window, and dies. So note also the implicit dangers of falling asleep while someone is preaching. Just trying to feed my sheep. Jokes aside, Paul goes over to him, simply says, "Don't be alarmed, his life is in him," and just as he said, the dead man was alive again. The last resurrection of the New Testament is the most unique and the most important of them all. It is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Upon dying, Jesus conquered death. He died for our sins, and he died so that we might die as well, so that we can be raised to newness of life forevermore with God in sinless bodies on this earth, his kingdom. All the resurrection stories in the scripture outside of Jesus' own resurrection were done by prophets of God. Paul and Peter having dual titles of apostle and prophet. They were not big events, and God usually moves right on in the text from the story. Therefore, we can rightly conclude that physical resurrection, as remarkable of an ordeal as it really is not to be focused on in this life. Resurrection from the dead, arguably, as stunning as it is no more stunning than the babies coming out of women's wombs. Just as miraculous if you really think about it. What is truly stunning is spiritual resurrection, taking not just dead flesh and making it physically alive for a short time, again, just to die once more, but granting someone eternal life. Eternal life through spiritual rebirth. Spiritual resurrection, coupling that spiritual new life with physical resurrection that will last forever. That is the good news of the gospel. This is what we see in Ezekiel 36 and 37. Jesus Christ's resurrection is our hope because his resurrection is the once and for all resurrection. The gospel is the power of God unto salvation. Church, note, the gospel is the only thing in all the scriptures attributed with the power of God outside of the triune God himself. The gospel is the power of God. Just proclaim it, and the Spirit takes it and applies it, and people get converted. It's not a work of us. It's the work of the gospel and the Spirit of God. God resurrects people through the proclamation of the prophets, chiefly the apostolic gospel. No one throughout all history, not even the apostles or prophets of God, not even Jesus Christ, thought or talked that when someone physically dies, you should expect, let alone even try, to raise them from the dead in any normative sense whatsoever. And we will tackle the one time where we find a command to raise the dead. We won't have time to do it this week, so hold your breath. Jesus clearly could have raised many people from the dead. He could have done it all the time. Martha was right. Whatever he asks of the Father will be granted to him. But he didn't. He rose 3 people from the dead, and it's pretty spectacular. But it was not a focus. It wasn't even normative for the ministry of Jesus. Because physical resurrection in this still sinful world is not the point or hope. That's why. There's a reason why he didn't just go around. There were sick children. He could have gone out and cleared whatever would have looked like a children's hospital at that time, but he didn't, because it wasn't the hope. Eternal life was the hope, church. Dying twice is not the hope. Dying once and being raised eternally is the hope.